So today I would like to talk about the difference between fission and fusion. And pyramids. Okay, so when you are creating an electrical field that is fractal, you are creating implosion, which is fusion. You are bringing things together. And when you blow things apart, that's fission. And when you are achieving this fractal electrical field, you're going to think of it like two pine cones kissing, or like two of these pyramids touching noses. That's why the pyramid is so key in geometry. That's why we have it placed strategically all across the globe. Because you're not just looking at one pyramid. If you had eyes to see, you would see another etheric pyramid on top of the first pyramid, because that's what you're creating. You're creating a portal, a stargate, an electrical fractal field that is the basis behind how we achieve consciousness, because consciousness is non-local. And it's non-local because it's the part of you that is eternal, and it's the part of you that is one with the all. And depending on how centripetal you can create your aura, that's how much consciousness you're going to be able to retain. Can you retain all of it or just pieces, right? And that's what we're experiencing here on Earth. We've projected parts of ourselves onto these films. A film could be like the sheet that you've projected yourself onto, or the film could be the story that you're in. Basically, it's the same thing. And there's so many different layers that we've gone through to find ourselves where we are, that this story really is taking these pieces and putting them back together, fusion, to get back to your pure essence, the truth. So the way out is through yourself. Pyramids are important to me because I used to be able to see them when I was little in my room. I don't anymore, but I used to see just floating pyramids in my room. And now as an adult, realizing how the nature of the electrical universe and geometry and consciousness, what that is, those were portals. And I had guides, I had people who would greet me in the morning, and these imaginary friends who were real. So perhaps this was their portal to reach me. Through these portals, we can access different points in time. But it really comes down to like why I name my channel Liz M State. Because monoatomic elements are when you reduce an element, certain elements, to one atom, they react differently. They do not respond to the laws of physics that everything else responds to here on Earth. So they respond as if they've ascended. They don't respond to gravity. They're able to tunnel through solid objects, supposed solid objects, right? And they're eternal. And they don't respond to fission, breaking apart, because there's nothing to break apart. So it's kind of like saying the beginning, because the reason why they do that is because all valence electrons are paired up. So either you need one or two atoms to create a mono or diatom that's noble, that doesn't respond, because it's all paired up. The electrons are all paired up. So there's nothing to be reactive to. So the nucleus goes into a high spin, and it turns into a different element, a mono or diatom. So it's no longer reactive to anything. So it's like going from the micro to the macro. It's the same thing. The macro source is not reactive. Neither are these small elements. So the beginning and the end of the story are the same, because you didn't go anywhere. Because this story, you are non-local. Your essence is one with all. You don't react to the story because you are the story, but within the middle of the story, yes, you're getting pulled in different directions, and that's where you act out who you are. That's where you start to understand, like, you get pulled into the story so that you can find your way out by understanding that the story is aspects of you, thinking that you are detached from the all until you realize, and then you go back to source. I'm gonna refer to my notes here. What else today? So let's talk about incarnating, and the idea of like the twin flame, right? Because that's a really hot topic right now. Everyone is looking for their twin flame. Okay, well, when you incarnate, that's going to be within you, because it's one and the same within yourself. But when you incarnate, depending on the karma that you walked in with, your vibration might be too blown apart to really get it together. So like, vibration is synonymous with certain geometries. So if you're able to get your vibration into something like this, then the etheric pyramid is going to automatically show, because pyramids are portals. Now, the etheric pyramid is in a higher dimension, so that was already there. So think of it like you're this thing on earth that has to get it together into a shape like this. But that shape has to be synonymous with your thoughts and your emotions, your electromagnetic frequency. Electricity is thought, emotions are magnetic. So if you're in alignment with something like this, you get into a fractal electrical field, thus creating, not really creating, but allowing the etheric pyramid to appear on top, because you're creating this this field that is fractal at ratios of pi, which allows the longitudinal EMF to cascade out into eternity. So therefore you're able to access the etheric pyramid and all the information coming in through that. So think of that like your twin. When you're able to get yourself together vibrationally, that's when the twin appears, because it's one and the same with you. This is all just a projection here. Okay, so everyone, in that sense, everyone has one, but you don't have one if you're not vibrating at the vibratory rate of when like the other pine cone, the other pyramid appears. And the point of that is really just ascension, to take yourself through all truth of time. And the whole truth of time is really that like you're one with everything, right? So if that's what you need to experience that through another, then you'll experience that here, because this is a dense layer where you can play out the other half of yourself through someone else to access more of yourself and alchemically change. And I had a dream where I think it was just really telling me that the point in which you incarnated, inception, right? Like when the sperm hits the egg and you're like here, that just made you, that you chose that one, right? I think that date is very important. And I don't think that, like, how can we figure out the date that we were created on? You know, it's going to be 9 months before you came out, but you don't really know. My dream allowed me to know, but not everyone's going to experience those dreams unless they get it together. And then once you get it together, you're going to already know a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I think that picture is very important as far as like the tools that you came in with, to be able to read the tools. That's why I don't talk about astrology a whole lot, because it's all within you. But sometimes you need to read that cheat sheet, right? In order to wake up, comprehend, like, oh yeah, like that is in me. Because we're so busy living in this world of projection that we don't go inside enough to be like, oh, this is happening. I'm creating these circumstances because I'm supposed to be able to overcome them, because the key is within inside. And you need to be able to look at the map sometimes. And it's funny how the map is created, because if you look at a photon, they were able to create a holographic image of a photon. And guess what it is? It's a hexagonal image of 3 primary colors. Now let's think about creation and the Trinity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit, mind, body, soul. These are important steps in creation, 3, okay? But then they nest in pairs of these, like these toroidal fields, they nest in 3 pairs. So it's like this hexagonal image of 3 toroidal pairs of primary colors doing this toroidal field dance. And the hexagon is because it's a shadow of the dodeca whole, because the universe is dodecahedral, 12. Like 12 is like just the system that what we see as reality, runs on. But we're a shadow of that. So if you were to divide a hexagon, you get 6 lines of symmetry, which create 12 equal parts, just like the zodiacal wheel. From which the axis points that you access, the cross of matter, depends on where the sun is at the time, because that's the first well, it's not longitudinal, it's, what's this one? Oh, my brain. Sideways. latitude, right? Where the sun hits your chart on the horizon is what is the longitudinal embedding of you within this plane. Okay, so that's the face, that's the cover of your story. That's why we call it the rising sign, because it actually affects what you look like and how you act. Because yes, you're embedding, but you are everything. So this is just the face of when you came in. And then that creates the top point, well, the access point, another access point, and that affects, you know, what you're going to embed on this earth from what you have inside. So here's your face, here's other people, here's what you have, and here's what you're gonna leave, your legacy. Okay, so that's how that chart lines up. And it's based off the system of 12, and it's based on what's longitudinally embedding the planets and you. Do I have anything else to say? Let's see. Yeah, the beginning and the end are all the same. The middle is all projections. It's the path home. But within these projections here, your consciousness is being fractured. And it's the same idea as fission, nuclear fission, nukes, you know, war. That has a lot to do with our galactic history. And so not only are the nukes used against us in physical terms, it's being used against your consciousness. Your consciousness is fractured. And the way how to get back to it is to organize it by getting into the correct vibration. To organize yourself, all truth becomes coherent because your vibration is coherent and able to implode within itself. That's fusion. So it's funny how we act out war with what we're doing on ourselves. And, you know, we talk about, I don't even know if I can say it. Maybe I can't. Okay. Well, within our galactic history, the Andromedans, supposedly the bad gray aliens to Earth, by using fission. Like they put these reactors on the moon and enhance the radiation of the Van Allen belt so that they couldn't escape. You know, that's like early using science. And it was up to the Greys to figure out, okay, well, we have to get an implosive capacitance around the Earth using this kind of geometry to be able to shoot out of the Van Allen belt and create stargates for ourselves. So it can be done physically, but it can also be done with the mind. And that's like the whole struggle here.